Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. It's your girl Delicia of Life with D. I don't know why I do that every time. I feel like it's me. It's what I do in real life. So, boom. But anyway, thank you guys for watching yet another one of my videos. Today, I'm going to talk to you guys about bullet journaling, how I use it, why I use it, and my 2020 bullet journal setup. I know it's a little late because the new year has already begun. However, it's never too late to get organized. Don't let them tell you have to start at the beginning of the year. That's not true. You can start anytime, any place, which is exactly the beauty of bullet journaling. All right, now let's get this video started. So, why I bullet journal? So I started bullet journaling with this very journal back in 2017. I started using bullet journaling as a way to keep track of everything that I was doing with school, with work, different like extracurricular activities I had to do, trying to, keep track of a busy social life as well. I've always had like a pretty booked and busy, I should say, schedule. However, I've always had a little bit of trouble managing it because I would have all these different things written down in different places, on slips of paper, what have you. And so I kind of needed a way to consolidate it so that way everything was in one place. I was on Pinterest in my spare time and I was like, how can I organize my life? And so bullet journaling came up and I was like, And so me being the person that I am, spent hours researching this, okay? Trying to figure out like how I could utilize this system. And so I, like I said, was on Pinterest and everything, reading different blogs, looking at different YouTube videos about how different people had been using their bullet journal. And I was like, I wonder if this is something that can be very useful and helpful for me in order to keep up with my life. And so, like I said, I started bullet journaling in 2017, and it was phenomenal. Because I was able to set up everything for myself and by myself. It really catered to what I needed, and so it had everything there I needed for school, had everything I needed for work, had everything I needed to maintain my social life. It's had all these different things, and it had none of the extra stuff that I wasn't going to use anyway, that sometimes comes along with our planners. And so that is why I kind of started it. I used this bullet journal in 2017. I actually started in the middle of the year. This bullet journal I think starts in July of 2017, if I'm not mistaken. No, June. It starts in June 2017. And I finished out 2017 in this book, and then I started 2018 in this book as well. However, in about June, about the time I had been bullet journaling for a year, I decided to take a break from bullet journaling to see okay, is this really a method that is helpful and effective for me, or have I just become a better time manager and more able to complete all of my tasks in a timely manner regardless of if it's written down or not. And so I took the break from about June of 2018 until the beginning of this year, which is January of 2020. And in that time I realized, no, it wasn't me. It was the bullet journal. I hadn't gotten my life together the way I thought I had. And so, things were late. I missed a few, social events I should have been at. I double booked myself quite often. The use that happens when you don't have things written down. And so I was like, well, I will not be doing this to myself again because I'm all about getting my life together, okay? Basically what I did is I reviewed all of my bullet journaling techniques, the different logs I used and everything throughout the year that had really worked for me. And I was like, okay, how do I want to incorporate this? Do I want to kind of bring this over? And I decided that it was a lot of different logs that I had kind of started in this bullet journal that weren't complete, and so I wanted to keep them in here and at least complete them before I moved them over to my new bullet journal. Examples of those were like movies that I was watching. I was keeping up with TV shows that I was watching as well. A reading list, like those kinds of things that are lifetime, I feel, and not more so seasonal. And so I focused on moving over my more seasonal stuff, future stuff into this new bullet journal. But I'm very excited to show you guys the setup, because one of the things that I ran into when I was looking into it, I was like, oh my gosh, these people are so artsy. How am I supposed to do this? And so that's kind of also what I realized was the beauty about bullet journaling, that I didn't need to be, you know, perfect. I just needed to have in there what I personally needed in order to fulfill my my needs and my wants, in order to have the journal to be what I needed it to be, because at the end of the day, I mean, that's really what it is. It's for you. And so that's also another reason why I'm so excited to show you guys my bullet journal today. I definitely have a simple, you know, bullet journal setup that I use. I do use printouts from littlecoffeefox.com, which is a fantastic resource that you guys can sign up for, become a member of, and everything. By the way, this video is not sponsored. That's just what I use, and I hate when people have videos and they don't tell you what they're using, because it's like, well, sis, how am I supposed to do that if you didn't tell me where I should go? So, not sponsored, but that is, you know, where I go for a lot of different things. But also you can just look at Pinterest and find different, you know, bullet journal threads to follow, different websites, different blog posts that create, like, you know, these kinds of content for people to use on a regular basis, so that way you don't have to put in the back-breaking work of making it creative, of making it beautiful, you know, if that's not what you're interested in doing. So I hope you guys enjoy my bullet journal setup. Like I said, it is more of a simplistic, kind of realistic, in my opinion, for my needs, bullet journal, and a way to kind of manage my life goals and my month-to-month, week-to-week, day-to-day kind of task. Because this is a setup, my bullet journal is not filled out. I'm just showing you guys what it looks like now. If you guys would like an update, feel free to like this video and to post a little comment saying, hey girl, would love to see how this looks in 6 months, and I would love to show you. So yeah, at this point we can get into what my bullet journal looks like. I hope you guys enjoy it. All right, guys, I am back. We are close and personal, because we have to get close and personal to get into these details for my bullet journal. So first of all, let's start with the book itself. I use a book it's called Minimalist Art, and I found it on Amazon. It's a cheaper version of the more expensive bullet journal notebooks. I use it because it works for me, it works for my budget, it works for my lifestyle. That's it. It is the dotted grid one, and not the like graph one or line one or what have you. I personally don't prefer that, and I feel like depending on what I'm doing as far as like my layout, the lines can get in the way, but the dots are actually like pretty easy to maneuver around and ignore, quite frankly. So yes, and the book that I used for my first one was also Minimalist Art. I just got it in a different color for a different year. So when we first open, the next page I have is my index. And so on my index right now, I really don't have much, because like I said, this is just the beginning. However, I did note that like the January page began on page number 3, and that I also have a future log in there, which is kind of smack in the middle of my January log. However, that'll make sense the more I continue to go through my book. And so then on the next 2 pages, I have my layout, which signifies that it is indeed 2020, and also that it is January. I have a page signifying the new year, just because for me it makes sense as far as organization. And then I have a page for January, because I like to begin every month with a new drawing or what have you. Okay, also caveat, I know I said I was like artistic or whatever. I did this in a previous bullet journal, my first one, and so all I did was outline the old one I did, placed it under, and then traced it. So I'm still not artistic, guys, but it makes things happen. It does what it needs to do. Okay, moving forward into what is actually planning. So we have our January calendar, and as you guys see, I printed this out from littlefox.com, and that, well, littlecoffeefox.com, excuse me. That's also where I get most of my monthly printouts, because it comes with enough room for me to be able to write things down so that I can keep track. And this is kind of where I keep everything that I will be using and needing for the month. That way I can have it all kind of in one place. As you can see, I started to fill it out. However, it is kind of missing some information, because I just didn't want people's personal information to be out there. I mean, I know I'm putting myself out there, but I don't need to put anyone else's stuff out there. However, when I'm filling it out for myself, it is more detailed with like whose wedding, what baby shower, whose housewarming, those kinds of things. But like I said, for the purpose of this video, it's not. Next, I have my future log, which honestly is one of my favorite spreads that I do each year for my bullet journal. So as you can see, I have literally the next year written out in calendar form. Some things written down in March that I have coming up, just so that way I can keep track of everything. And as events come up throughout the year, I just jot them down in these pages, so that way, you know, in October, I'm not like, wait, I'm supposed to do something. What was that again? And have no recollection of it. And so in my other journal, it is booked and busy, honey. But since the year literally just started, it's pretty empty right now. But this is a great way to keep track of things that are coming up in the future that are important to like note and everything. That way you always have them on hand, ready and available. So next, I actually go back to my January spread. And so once again, goes back to whatever works for you. This year, this worked for me. Next year, maybe not. Who knows? But I can always change it. Why? Because I'm not nailed down to anything since I created all. Back to this January spread though, guys. So this is when I actually began my January spread. So I have two very different pages here. So on this page, I have a minimum spend January month. In the past, I've done minimum spend months for myself and my bullet journals, and it has been very, very helpful to be able to visually see the days and what days I spent and what days I didn't spend. That way at the end of the month, I can kind of track it right here and see, Alexia, how great, you had blank amount of no spend days. And on the other page is kind of what more of my spreads look like. So this is what an actual weekly spread looks like for me. Sorry guys, I'm kind of all over the place. I'm new to this, not true to this yet, but it's okay, we're gonna get there. So this spread on this side is what it looks like on the regular basis for me. So if we bring this in right here, oh yes, thank you. At the top, we have the week that it is, and then I have a glancing ahead section, which shows me basically things I need to look forward to, be aware of that are coming up in the upcoming week down below. This is an abbreviated week for me. I normally do not have spreads this small. However, I'm out of school right now, and the week starts on Wednesday, so I didn't need as much space when I was planning this week out. But then I just go ahead, go ahead and I write down the different dates of the week and days of the week. And then this is where I would actually put my information for things that I need to do, things that I have coming up, due dates and such, would all go there as the week kind of progresses. So guys, that is the end of my 2020 bullet journal setup. I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. I hope you guys have stuck around this entire time. I appreciate every single one of you guys. I appreciate every subscriber, every view, every like, every comment. Thank you guys so much for joining me on this journey of life with D as we continue to progress, continue to adult, continue to learn. If you would like to see more of me, please subscribe and join my happy family. I would love to have more of you guys here on this channel. For those who have already subscribed to me, thank you so much for subscribing and continuing to watch. I hope you guys have enjoyed this realistic bullet journal setup for 2020, and I would love to hear more from you guys about what you guys would like to see in upcoming 2020, what kind of content you guys are looking for, or like I said, if you would like an update of how my bullet journal kind of progresses throughout the year, I'd love to show you guys that as well. Again, thank you so much for tuning in, guys. You are always appreciated here. Until next time, bye.